sounds like you did play everything at 60 and 120. So that's good. Yeah, like I checked my metronome with what you did. I was like, well, that's definitely 60. I'm like, okay, well, good, good. A couple things. So for the most part, good. One thing is when you're playing that open E5 chord, you have too much pressure with your index finger, and you are causing a note to be heard on the G string. We don't want that. That's basically making an E suspended 4 chord. So what you got to do is you got to be a bit more careful with how much pressure you're laying across the strings with that guy. So it's really just like a matter of kind of just bringing your wrist or your arm forward just a little bit more, you know, going that way. Because if you bring it too much this way, you get that too much of a bar. Bring it forward just enough so the pressure's on the A and the D string, and you're just barely hitting that E string, or a G string, I mean. So like that line right here on my finger where the joint is, that part of my knuckle, the inside of the knuckle, that's kind of what's sitting on top of the G string. So you'll need to play with finger position and pressure until you get rid of the unwanted note. So it just takes a little bit of time, and just anytime you notice that you're getting that extra noise with the extra sound, adjust the hand immediately. So this way, you know, you want to continue to make those adjustments as soon as you hear the unwanted stuff. So this way your hand is trained to do the right thing more often. So we got 2 things. Figure that might even be more than enough since you only got like tonight and tomorrow, but who knows, might get them all both down. So we'll just kind of do this first, and then obviously meet Wednesday and kind of see how it's going, and then go from there. So we will work with what we can. 60 beats per minute for number 1. First, see if you can figure out what the count is just by looking at it. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and 1, 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 2, 3, and done. So turn this up a bit more. I just remembered the other thing on one of the I can't remember which pattern it was you were doing, but you were doing well in the bar itself, but then it was something like doing like a 1, 2, and 4, and then you stop moving the right hand, and then when you went to the next chord, then you quickly shot it back up to do another downstroke. So even no matter where you're at with the chords and the rhythm and whatnot, don't stop the flowing down up motion there. So on that last one where you're changing, let's see, was it this one? I don't remember which one it was. Well, I don't have the old ones up. But anyway, like, it wasn't always happening. This happened a couple times. But yeah, just keep the flowing motion of the hand going the whole time. That's going to be needed going like much faster. Yeah, but you made it work, which is good. It can be problematic as you get going faster, though. All right, 120 beats per minute. Number 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 done. And counting along as you play, definitely keep doing that. When you make video stuff, you don't have to count off 4 yourself. I count off 4 on the videos so you can follow along with me. It'd be kind of hard to follow along with me if I wasn't counting off. But again, if it helps you record stuff by counting off 4, go ahead, keep doing that. But just so you know, not necessary. But counting along as you have been doing it while you play, yes, keep doing that. Alright, so number 2 here. This might be kind of funny. Again, see if you can figure out what the count is first. And then if you can't, or whatever you think it is, then continue watching now. Alright, we have at the start here an 8th note rest. So that means you don't play anything on the downbeat of 1 to begin. So here's the 8th note by itself. So that's the upbeat of 1. So here, what's highlighted now is all of beat 1. So if you look over here, it's looks more like what you're used to. This 8th note is tied over from the last strum in bar 1. So when you hit that upstroke or the upbeat of 4, it carries across the downbeat of 1. So when you start playing this, you're going to hit an upstroke every time you change chords and every time that you go to a new bar. The only exception to that is the very final resolve chord. That is on the downbeat of 1 and will be done with a downstroke. So, see anything else to add there? Well, it is pretty weird for most people to start with, so it seems very odd and like, what the heck is this, and like, why is it a pain in the butt? Because it's a pain in the butt for most people. So anything new is really going to be a pain. Alright, so again, see if you can figure out the count. Here we go. 60 beats per minute, number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 done. So just remember the other thing to point out here, something that trips up people, is waiting until the upstroke here to go to the new chord. A lot of times people will start to move their hand on beat 1 instead of waiting until the upbeat comes in. So don't change chords until it's time to strum up on the upbeat of 1 here. 120 beats per minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 done. Alright, there we go. So if any questions come up, let me know, and I'll plan on seeing you again in 2 days.